survivors, and they are not doing so well. So let's get a look at the losses tab. It's just StrifeCro is way behind as far as losses go, though he can afford it. Back to the income tab, he does have an advantage as far as income. He's had it for a majority of the game. So we're seeing StrifeCro just completely shift into all Corruptors and Broodlords. So these Broodlords are really going to do a lot of damage here, and we really don't see that many Broodlords used, and we do actually see Phoenixes rolling up here again, once again, going to be pillaging this mineral line as we see one after another, after another, after another, after another, and these, of course, these Corruptors just laying in the DPS on those guys, trying to make them go away. Losing a few Phoenixes, but just really worth it right there, as a lot of drones died to that. We see 32 Zerglings being turned online. We see a couple of Broodlords, and we see a Mothership coming online. So we're going to see a lot of units we don't generally see. We see force fields down, trying to make a wall off here, but it's really not going to be that effective as the Broodlords can shoot over them, and these Phoenixes just getting torn to shreds by these Corruptors. There's so many Corruptors in the air. Of course, I don't know if they really want to be following these Stalkers, as the Stalkers, of course, can attack these Corruptors with impunity. But we're seeing more and more Broodlords being queued up there. We see 5 more coming online. We see more Zerglings coming as well, as we see a bank really starting to fill up for EGStrifeCro. So we do actually see RootKiwikaki coming up here, throwing down more force fields, trying to keep these Zerglings at bay. We see a lot of DPS coming out of these Broodlords, as all these little Broodlings are just chittering and chewing on these sentries right here. And of course, the Corruptors just kind of hanging out. And we see the Stalkers blinking away, trying to get away from these Broodlords, as the Broodlords will just tear into them. We see 3 more Broodlords coming, and the melee attack coming up for StrifeCro, so enabling all of his ground use to be that much more deadly. More and more Corruptors, just not more and more, but just tons of Corruptors in the air, tons of Broodlords in the air. That's a lot of Broodlords. When you see the Stalkers blinking in here, focus firing down the Broodlords. The Corruptors trying to go ahead and corrupt all of these guys right there. Of course, we did see the Stalkers get completely overwhelmed right there, and these units, of course, taking 20 extra damage. So making sure using these Corruptors, not just letting them sit there and soak up the DPS. So, of course, these Broodlords will be engaging these Stalkers. There are a lot of Stalkers on the ground, but I don't believe it's going to be enough. But there are a ton of Broodlords, and these Broodlords just throw out so much DPS. And, of course, we do see them actually focus firing these Broodlords, and the Broodlords, though, they are going down. They're very thick, very robust, but they're so expensive. And these Stalkers just will be losing all the Stalkers, but the Broodlords, just too many of them, will be continuing to siege the expansion of Kiwikaki. And we have Zerglings moving up, we have Infestors moving up, so these Infestors will be able to lock down those Stalkers and keep them in place, and basically keep enabling StrifeCro to maneuver his Broodlords to where they're not in the DPS fields of those Stalkers. So it does look like we are actually going to see the Nexus fall here for Kiwikaki. Kiwikaki, of course, forming, actually bring Archons on, and the Mothership will be moving up here, so we don't actually see any detection from StrifeCro, and this is going to be pretty brutal, as we do actually see the Archons moving up here, will be damaging these Broodlords. They are engaging the Zerglings as well, and of course we're actually seeing a toilet bowl coming in here with these Archons, the Mothership moving over it, and all of the units of Kiwikaki moving in here, and those Archons just with all of that AoE damage. I don't believe we're going to see any of the Zerglings coming out there, and oh, we actually see a few of them, but it is going to be brutal right there, as these Archons do come out here, and they killed a lot of, pretty much everything that went in there. You see a lot of damage on these Corruptors as well. So these Broodlords are few in number, and it does look like they are going to be getting picked off here, as RootKiwikaki has forced EGStrifeCro to retreat. EGStrifeCro, of course, getting quite confident, is trying to take the high yield expansion on Kiwiyaki's side. So Kiwikaki will be rolling up here and will be saying, "Hell no, that is my high yield." And of course these Archons, now that was pretty crazy. That Archon has 23 kills. That one has 22. Showing how effective that Archon Toilet Bowl is, as that AoE damage stacks up, as you know, if you see banelings or anything like that going down, it is just really, really effective. And once again, I'm just gonna have to close that because that is absolutely ridiculous.
Move on, we had this first set already.
So we do have actually DJ Wheat talking in the background while EGStrifeCro, there it goes, finally gone, and EGStrifeCro's expansion just got sniped right there. We do actually have a couple of Hydras right now. We have 8 Hydras inbound. EGStrifeCro using up a lot of his bank, as he was sitting with quite the mineral deposits in the bank right there earlier on, but of course these broodlords are very expensive. As we have, take a look at the income tab, we are seeing them harvester count neck and neck, but EGStrifeCro able to compromise the expansions of Kiwikaki. So Kiwikaki trying to bring both of these online, and StrifeCro will be moving out here, bringing some drones. Don't know if he really meant to do that, but these broodlords are about to come in contact with these stalkers. Once again, these stalkers just not really going to be able to do a lot against them as they are blinking away, trying to just do as much damage as they possibly can without taking any damage themselves. Let's take a look at the units tab. Yes, we have 7 broodlords, 19 corruptors, and 12 hydralisks going up against 2 archons, 21 stalkers, and 4 high templar. Now these high templar are going to be effective against these units except for the broodlords. The broodlords are very thick and are going to be able to soak up a lot of that psi damage. So of course we do have the broodlords moving up against, trying to snipe this nexus. We have phoenixes in there. We do actually see psi storms coming down on these hydras. These hydras of course are going to be really just torn to shreds by these psi storms. The psi storms are really effective against these units, as all of them are in the red, so all of them are going to be one-shotted right here. We do actually see RootKiwikaki trying to snipe these broodlords, and the corruptors are intermixed with the broodlords, so making it that much more difficult for Kiwikaki to actually micro them down. Of course, these hydralisks, being damaged as they were, did not go down because we saw the stalkers being microed, trying to take down these broodlords, but eventually, though, they were actually thwarted, and this one broodlord is not feeling so hot, as it was actually split out in the middle of the air, and we saw its spine fall down. That was actually pretty cool. You don't really get to see the death animatic for the broodlords that often because, well, they're just really not that used. And so we do actually have more stalkers engaging, trying to kill these broodlords before they're actually able to come out of the cocoon. We have more zerglings, more hydras moving up against Kiwikaki, and Kiwikaki right now is really running off of 2 bases. Of course, this one base just completely got sniped right there. This one nexus will be coming online, but of course the pro transfer will be giving away the base where it is. We don't even see any high templar coming out right now, as I do believe that would be the key to saving himself. But Kiwikaki right now does look like he might be losing his one of his expansions here really soon, because he's running off of 2. We do actually see the Kaladarian amulet will be researched here, so allowing those high templar to come out of the gate, able to side storm. These hydralisks will be DPSing these stalkers. The stalkers, of course, are very really not that well suited going up against the hydralisks, even though they do have the upgrades, so make him that much more dangerous, as there really aren't enough hydras to finish off all these stalkers. Hydras will be moving back, but of course running into these broodlords. These broodlords just launching these broodlings, and of course, cool thing about what we're seeing coming from EGStrifeCro is he's upgrading the melee attack, so making these broodlords that much more damaging, as their the broodling strike really doesn't do as much as the individual attacks right here. Will be doing that more with the right there. Yep, there we go. Needle claws, blam. But of course, Kiwikaki, seeing that pretty much his fate was sealed, wasn't going to die on the vine, and actually GG'd out of it. So I thought that was pretty epic because, number 1, we got to see a lot of broodlords. Number 2, we got to see an arcon toilet bowl. I don't actually think I've seen that used in a high-level game anytime lately. Of course, I'm probably wrong because there are so many games out there that get used, but that's pretty awesome. I mean, I don't think it could have been any more epic unless we saw banelings thrown in the mix. But we saw those archons just rack up so many kills, 22 for one and 23 for the other guy. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope that was exciting and entertaining. Let me know what you thought about it. Of course, comments. I love to hear the comments. Hopefully, I had a comment earlier about me moving the screen all around, how it gets nauseating. Hope I did a little bit better job. Let me know. A little bit of feedback there. Yeah. So either way, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. And as always, citizens, stay safe.